Hey listeners, you're listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. Grab some tea, a midnight snack, and cuddle up in bed as we dive deep into today's most popular fantasies, sci-fi, and mysteries. We're your hosts. I'm Lily.
I'm Brittany.
And I'm Christy.
This season we'll be discussing a dark academia bully romance series known for its smutty content and often billed as a Harry Potter for adults. That's right, grab your Stardust, we're headed to Solaria.
Welcome to Zodiac Academy. Note to students, vampire bites, loss of limbs, or getting lost in the Wayland Woods will not count as a valid excuse for being late to class or this podcast.
In today's episode, we're discussing Book 3, The Reckoning, chapters 26 through 39, and there's a lot happening. The twins face disaster at the fairy fair, they're past at the Reckoning, and nearly losing their lives once again during the eclipse.
Before we get into it, this is your warning for major spoilers ahead. This includes potentially all Zodiac Academy world books, including the Ruthless Boys and Darkmoor Penitentiary series. We might accidentally let spoilers slip for other popular romantasy book series as well. Sorry in advance. Like the books, this podcast is rated R. It's gonna get spicy. Also language, obviously, so be warned.
Also, a friendly reminder to please like, subscribe, and follow. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
So last we left off, Seth had just broken into Darcy's room and she thinks he's acting a little bipolar. Now we get our very first point of view from Max. I know in the past, y'all have said that Max seems like a follower and that y'all haven't gotten much about him. Any opinions changed about him reading this point of view?
I feel like his chapter was just so fun. Like, I just loved reading his point of view personally. I guess it's because he's a siren, so he automatically filters everything through emotions, but I just really enjoyed listening to it this time around.
Me too. I like their relationship with his dad. It's oddly normal, especially when you consider the Celestial Council, and so I really like that, and it definitely made me excited for later on in the book.
Oh my gosh.
As I said before, Tiberius is my favorite parent of the series, I think. Do you still think he's a follower?
No, I feel like he's more a survivor, I guess might be the best way to put it.
What do you mean?
In a way. He's doing what he can to survive in that world. His stepmother blatantly doesn't want him. We've heard before. We didn't see in this book so far, but yeah, I think he's just trying to make it.
What about his relationship with the boys, though, as far as that goes?
I felt like I was wrong about that. He doesn't feel so much like a follower anymore. I felt like he was maybe a little more stable, for lack of a better term to put it. Do we get to see Caleb's mom at any time, like get to know her?
We never get her point of view, but she will be in the future.
I feel like I'm gonna like her. Am I off?
I don't know about that.
That's a no. Okay.
I get a bad vibe from her.
Really? From Melinda?
Yeah. Oh, I might be confusing her with Lance's
Antonia?
mom.
No. Caleb's
Yeah.
mom. Because, I mean, just because she seems to really love him and she makes him come home for the lunar eclipse. So I feel like there's at least a little bit of love
incidences there. Which we'll talk about, but
I do want to say something about Max. I think that from getting his perspective, I feel like it makes the readers recognize that he is kind of in a weird position in the friend group because he kind of is stuck moderating their emotions, even though that's not intended to be his place. He's not supposed to feel obligated to do that as their friend, but I feel like he does. Like, he wants everybody to be happy and he wants everyone to be calm, and he's stuck in a weird back and forth between trying to decide, do I intervene? Do I not? Do I let this happen? Because, like, he can see and understand things on a different level, and I think that that makes it really hard for him to be impartial in situations where he needs to be, or vice versa, where he needs to have a say in something. Yeah, I just think that's interesting for his character. I think he's much more complex than we've seen up to this point from that point of view.
We also get our first look into Aqua House. It is literally a glass building underwater.
Which I love, honestly.
Yes. I want to live there.
Same.
Yes, Steve.
Okay, I don't know if I could have Max's room, though, because it's a dome and it's half above the water and half under. So, privacy issues.
Could somebody take a boat and, like, row up to his window?
I think so. think so.
Okay, but they're in a lake, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Max could see them coming, but...
They probably can't see him, though. Pretty much any lake you've been in, that's some fucking murky water, you know?
half his room is above water.
Yeah, but how much of it is what I'm wondering. He's not...
Yeah,
Why
but-
are you making that face?
But what if somebody does like a water poo? You know, like they slip out of the boat, they gotta go.
Are you saying people will take shits off of the side of boats?
Yes.
Oh my god. I don't think they're doing that here. Well,
Well, I mean, you notice that he freezes his room in order to get privacy. So,
oh yeah.
and by the way, that had to have been cold as fuck. Like, you
Yeah.
got a metal door and a frozen dome in water.
This poor man. Why did
And-
they design it like that?
Exactly.
Sure, like with his magic, he could make it warm, right?
He has air magic, so yeah, he can warm up the air.
Okay.
All right, so Max's dad calls with some news, and I gotta say, for the audiobook, when he first calls, it makes him sound so angry.
Yeah.
Did you listen? Okay,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he starts it off with like, I don't have time for pleasantries, Max. And I'm like, but he's excited and happy. Why are you sounding like that?
Yeah, I think maybe that read was just off.
Yeah. So they've captured a nymph, cut off its hands, healed it,
Yeah.
which, by the way, is Franny's idea.
Fucking psycho.
And now they're gonna interrogate it. So the guys all are called to Max's room and they get in their suits. And I think it's funny that Max is like, you guys all wore black suits and I'm wearing a gray one and I feel on the outs.
He's actually such a sensitive baby.
He is.
Yeah.
Which, that whole thing was odd to me. Why would you have to dress up to watch an I mean, I get why, like, for the press, but suits? Like, I don't know.
I don't know about y'all, but I can't picture them in suits. I can picture them in tuxedos, but I cannot picture them in just suits.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I felt like that was an odd detail.
I think it's because now we know them as fucking idiots. And so it's like in our head.
To un-idiot them
Yeah.
All right, so
did not work.
when Darius shows up, he is on the phone with his mom, telling her she needs to spend the night in the mortal realm. Did y'all think that, you know, that was going to fix his problems?
No.
How are y'all feeling
I
about that?
I was shocked that she went. I mean, I know she loves Xavier, but I was shocked that she was, just because, I mean, Lionel's gonna know.
She was supposed to sneak out.
You really trusted her to do that? I'm sorry. My question is, how much did he tell his mom? Because how seriously could she take it, you know? Depending on how much he shared with her.
Well, I mean, she knew enough to know that he was in danger.
Yeah, but I don't know. Either way, I knew he was going to fuck it up. Remember, we were like, yeah, Lance and Darius are not going to be able to save Xavier, which ends up being a moot point, but
Yeah.
they definitely ran into some problems.
Yeah. In the name of Stella. Fucking bitch.
Yes.
So Caleb has a teenage girl moment where he flops onto Max's bed and says, I don't know if I can still see Tori after this.
You know, honestly, if that's a teenage girl moment, then the rest of this book is a teenage girl moment
It
for
is.
him.
A very violent teenage girl moment, but
And yes, yeah.
But he owns it.
he does.
And I love that. I can handle it.
That's fair. I mean, teenage girl doesn't have to be a negative thing.
No.
He is drama queen.
He
sure.
is a little bit, yeah. They all kind of are. I love that they, like, flop onto the bed on top of each other. Like little kids.
Like hug.
Like,
I love that Max
brothers.
offers to let him stay.
Oh, yeah.
To let
'Cause,
Seth
you know,
stay.
Very cute.
Even though I don't like Seth.
Seth and his neediness with his pack not sleeping with him, and Darius with the, get the fuck off of me, Seth.
They're such brothers.
What do they have for pets in Solaria?
Ghost dogs?
Why don't they get him a
I
ghost
love
dog?
that. I want a ghost dog.
Or a pet rock.
Pet rock. There's only one pet that I know of that I think, and that is in the Ruthless Boys, they adopt a ghost dog. I think it's a ghost dog. And I'm assuming that it lives forever since it's a ghost. So,
Oh,
I don't know.
hopefully they wrap it up for the dog too.
So when Orion shows up, he and Darius share a moment, and Max does confirm for us that their guardian bond was placed on them without their consent.
Yeah.
Why
which
do
is
you...
fucked up.
Yeah, especially with the way that it makes them feel. Do we have any theories why this was done? We know that Lionel did it because he admits to that in book 2.
I'm not sure, but I'm sure it has something to do with protecting Darius's inheritance of his spot after Lionel. I'm not positive what it would be for, though, because if my theories about Lionel are correct, then I wouldn't think that it would be to protect him against nymphs. So I'm really not sure what it would be. Maybe to help Darius with shadow work? I don't know.
True. They did grow up together, and the Orions are known for their dark magic usage, or are rumored.
Is it to keep Stella close?
To keep Stella close?
I mean, I realize she's already there, but to kind of lock her in a little bit, lock
Is
the
she the
families in
Bellatrix?
together.
No, she's not the Bellatrix.
Damn.
I love Bellatrix, though.
You won't
well.
love the Bellatrix of this.
But I love Helena Bonham Carter. Is
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
She's
like,
fantastic.
her character is nuts, but I love her.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I really, really hope that you don't love the Bellatrix of this series.
Unless Helena Bonham Carter plays her, then I don't think I will.
That character will, I think, be introduced next book.
We'll see. We'll see.
So the guys all go to the court to see this interrogation, and they go into this room with their mom and dads, and things get a little awkward when their parents start talking about the eclipse and how it makes everybody have urges.
It's like getting the sex talk all over again a little bit. Caleb's mom's like, you have to come home, honey.
I love the way that she was like, we don't want any incidences. Like, you can't kill somebody. It'll cause a scandal.
Yeah.
I was like, Melinda. I love that they are also like, no, you don't get urges. No, you will not say that ever again. And Max is totally disgusted, feeling the lust coming off of Lionel for Melinda. And what is it? Antonia has lust for Orion.
Ugh.
All the boys are just like, oh, Mom, stop. Melinda's like, oh, don't worry, Callie. You were eclipse conceived.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I don't want to know that, Mom. Thanks. They bring the nymph into the interrogation room in its true form. It's bound in chains of fire, and the counselors go to interrogate it. They're threatening it, using their magic on it, and suddenly it starts using its rattle, and they all fall to their knees. And this is what confounds me. Its probes are cut off. It's in chains. Just because it used its rattle to take away your power doesn't mean they're in any kind of danger, and they all freak out like it's attacking them. And Max and Seth both had this like, my parents almost died kind of attitude, and I'm like, no, they got their powers taken away. That's it. That is all that happened. Nobody was close to dying.
I mean, in that moment, though, maybe it's just one of those things where, like, you panic. You know what I mean? Like, there's no logic to it, but if there's some sense that something's happening, you know, maybe you just have that moment of, oh my god, this could have happened.
But could I point out that these bunch of sissies are the ones wanting to run Solaria? Is that really who you want running it? The ones that are going to panic at the first sign of shit going wrong?
True, you would think that they had faced a nymph before.
I think that they had some balls.
They're so dangerous.
Especially for what happens later. It's like, oh, you're scared of nymphs? Oh, really? But you want to go to the shadow world? What?
Where the nymphs are from?
Yeah.
Well, I think Lionel minds putting other people in danger, and that's pretty much what he did. Because could Lionel have... Oh, he's not pure. Oh, he is pure, technically. Was it blood? Pure blood. So he could have done it, like, zapped himself. He's not pure blood?
Well, is he pure blood? Xavier's a Pegasus.
But the constellation could have changed that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
So, of course, Lionel beats it to death.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Christy. Oh my gosh.
There it goes.
I was going to say... I was gonna say that I told you guys that I think Lionel killed the nymph on purpose because right now my theories are that he's in league with the nymphs somehow, or he's controlling them somehow, or I don't know what's going on, but I think that he's not just some innocent bystander to all of this happening. And I think he killed it so that it could not talk.
100% agree.
Although up to now we've been wrong about the nymphs. Sorry.
So y'all don't think that he's just a ragey person who lost control and he gets some kind of thrill out of beating people to death?
No.
I do, but I think that
Well, yes.
I think that that's a good cover for him accidentally killing the nymph.
Yeah. He manages not to kill his son.
Yeah.
I realize some of that's Lance, but
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
a little Lance, but it's also, again, for now, Darius is important to him because he sees Darius as his legacy. So,
Yeah.
all right. So he can show control.
yeah, he needs to control Darius.
No,
But-
he 100% killed that nymph because he made it. He's in league with it. Something. I think Lily's right. 100%, which probably means you're wrong if I think so.
I don't know. We've both had trouble with theories for these books, so I feel like, it could be up in the air.
Do y'all still think the nymphs are potentially still good guys and they're just being portrayed as bad guys?
No.
I felt sorry for the little nymph.
Christy.
Let's get his hands off.
Oh my
So
god.
that part was like a little sick. Like they were like, yay, look, they're cutting his hands off. Ooh. Like I was a little troubled by that part.
Doesn't the nymphs say something horrible to them? Like in my
you
mind,
know.
it's like I can't remember what happened, but it was growling like "I'll kill your father" or something like that. I don't know. I'll kill you and
Great,
your family.
thank you. Please. Especially
feel bad for my
Darius
dad.
is like, come on, I'll leave the front door open.
Well, I mean, these are creatures that, if you believe what's been said about them, all they do is literally go around killing Fae to steal their power. And they can't steal their power unless they kill the Fae. So,
Fair enough.
if they have elemental power, they have killed before.
They killed Lionel. Would that be such a bad thing? And they'd have some nice
Well, then
power,
they'd have
but-
control over his power, too.
Yeah. Well, but I don't know. I'm not going to be anti-nymph just yet. Like I'm still
You're still holding
little
out
bit.
for
I'm still a little bit snuggly nymph.
I mean, they
snuggly nymph.
do still have the shadows, but
And we like the shadows.
But we like shadow daddies, so maybe it's okay.
Yeah. Nymph snuggles.
Brittany.
Yep.
Brittany.
I wouldn't call anybody in this series Shadow Daddy.
I mean, I'm not, but I'm just saying we have a history with reading about shadows, and they're not always bad.
Especially at the end of this book, Lionel ends up with shadow powers.
Shh. I'm not talking about Lionel. How dare you?
So it's time for the Earth trial. They're in this cave, and all they literally have to do to pass the test is escape the cave before time runs out without getting eaten. What did y'all think
And-
about this test?
And there's a very familiar sounding worm.
Yeah, I had the same thought.
Did they ever actually see the worm?
Yes. She said it looks like part worm, part dragon, and that it has blind eyes.
I actually have a aside for you both. In A Court of Thorns and Roses, where they fight the worm, spoiler, I imagined, have you guys seen that SpongeBob episode where there's a giant worm? It sounds a lot like the description in the books. It's called
I've
an
seen it.
Alaskan bullworm.
I kind of pictured it as
I
that.
remember it now that I see it.
Crescent City, the third book.
Yeah.
Was it third or second? Third book, yeah. When with Nesta, when they were in the
it's in
cave,
that
that's
one
what I was
too.
picturing. Yeah.
Well, that's a Midgard worm as well, so it's the same type of worm as
As-
a Court of
Oh,
Thorns and
okay,
Roses.
okay.
Yeah, I think we're
Okay.
supposed to get that, the same thing.
Oh,
okay,
how
I can do
cute. I'm looking at it now.
Did you just say how cute?
Yes.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned about
Look,
you.
as long as it's not human, I will love it.
You're like, oh my god, look how cute. This little fucked up teeth. Aw.
He just needs a little dentist.
Anyway, that's what I imagined, but moving on.
Right, so what did y'all think about this trial? Because I kind of thought it was boring.
It's very boring.
Of
Yeah.
all the tests, this one was just kind of...
Run for it.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
mean, go ahead.
I'm assuming that there were no exits and everybody had to realize that they had to dig out, because how else I mean, I know they were using their earth magic to, like, see what tunnel to take, but really?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, out of all the trials, the only one that was interesting was the water one.
Agreed.
In my opinion. They all kind of sucked.
You didn't think, well, the fire one was okay. You didn't think it was...
I mean, they walked right through it, which is like, I get it. The point is that they walk right through it, right? But there wasn't even, if you think about the trial, besides them just walking through it, then it's actually kind of a sucky trial too.
Yeah.
How would they get through that if they couldn't walk through it? Like we were discussing, it sounds kind of insane. So.
Yes.
I'm assuming that they had to put out the fire, but also, you know, there was the whole, they have to walk across this bridge that is the width of their foot.
Yeah.
And if they fall off, you're going to fall into lava. I mean, I'm assuming somebody would have caught them, but...
Yeah.
But like you said, even what they were walking on would have gotten hot, would have burned them. For them, it doesn't matter, but for everybody else. And it didn't make sense. It felt like the author set it up so that it would be like a big deal for the twins, not thinking about how illogical it was for everybody else.
True. I think the biggest deal on that was the clumsiness that Darcy has lived with her whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, the Earth trial sucked.
Yeah.
Second.
Yeah, I agree. And they happened to score the least, I guess, on this trial. They did the worst of all their trials in this one.
Yeah, which kind of surprised me because I feel like of all the trials that the others could do good on, I feel like this one is just a random one. But anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it was boring.
There
I think
had to
that's
be
why
one that they didn't do perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was it, that it was boring. I think that's why I didn't notice the worm when they described it, because at that point I was kind of like skimming.
Yeah.
So, on to the fairy fair. Curfew was pushed back so that all the kids can attend, as well as the teachers. Darcy's going with Diego, Tori's going with Caleb, and I don't really think this goes well for either of them. I mean, Tori does better, but...
I thought it was super cute for Tori.
The whole going out into the mountain and Caleb literally taking her out there to leave her.
A little adventure before they...
I love Caleb, I do. But I also need him to be a little bitch slapped for that. Like, how dare you even consider
I agree.
taking her out
I think
there?
he would like to be bitch slapped, though.
I mean, let's just rewind for a second. How about the fact that this was a roller coaster for me? Because we start off with Diego coming to meet Darcy.
And Darcy actually is like, oh, he's hot.
Yeah, Darcy is like, oh, he looks kind of good. Christy, the face you just made.
Got a new haircut. He's all dressed up. He's not wearing his beanie.
He's not wearing the hat. Hat boy, as Caleb called him. But it was just such a roller coaster because we go from Darcy being like, oh, this could be a good time to... I was like aghast at the conversation she has with Diego.
Yeah.
But anyways.
All right, so Diego comes to pick up Darcy, as you said. He tells her that she looks like the light of the stars. But in Spanish, of course.
Right.
And Darcy uses the time in the beginning to talk about his uncle. And Diego's like, he's a bastard who uses my family and I hate him. I know what he does, but I'm not going to tell you.
He's a bastardo.
He's a bastardo.
Yeah. And he's like, he's a terrible person. And that didn't help Darcy at all.
Well, Orion says it may help a little, but yeah, she still needs to get some more. But this is Tori and Darcy's first time at a fair, carnival, whatever. So she wants to go on all the rides. And I need to add in here that she sees Washer on a date with Principal Nova.
Ew.
Ew. Ew.
Ew. And she's so into it. Like, she doesn't even care that he's a freak.
She's kind of a freak, too. The whole...
Yeah, the fool.
Oh my gosh.
I need Lance!
Where's Lance? He needs to come.
No, he doesn't.
The double entendre.
It doesn't matter what I say, Christy's gonna find a way to make it sound dirty.
Alright, so
they're going me.
Darcy sees this game where the prize is a 4-foot Pegasus with like this glittering horn and everything. So Diego's like, move aside, I will win this for you. I'm pretty sure like him shooting the gun the first time nearly knocked him over.
I pictured it like hitting him in the face. Like,
We knew upon reading it that it wouldn't go well, but it was funny regardless.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, Orion shows up and makes him look like an idiot all over. 3 quick shots and boom, done, won. Although he had brought Franny, so...
Yeah.
That fucking bitch. I'm sorry, it has nothing to do with Franny. She's fine. It's not her fault. Like, realistically, it's not her fault.
Well, I don't like her, though, from when she dealt with the twins in the interrogation. So I don't like her from that. So I think she deserves to be ragged upon.
Yeah.
So.
And how about the whole, do you want the blue one or the silver one? The blue one? Oh, my favorite color.
Oh, God, I just wanted to punch him in the face.
I wish he would have told her why.
Yeah, by the way, I haven't been screwing you lately because I'm screwing her over there and she's the reason why. And oh, I love Darcy's little, like, he kisses her on the nose.
She's so jealous.
She is. She's like, I'm not a jealous person. Why am I feeling this way? Because
you know
it's
what?
Lance, baby. It's Lance.
Yeah, this is the man. This is the man of the book, okay? Like, out of all of them, Orion is the one, okay? I would be jealous too.
I like the fact that he's so immature in that way.
He is.
That instead of talking to her about what upsets him, instead he brings a date and is like humping her the whole way through to make Darcy jealous.
And it worked.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely works. But I was like, dude, how old are you?
Well, I mean, they're fake. They don't know how to apologize. They don't know how to not hurt people.
He can't help himself.
They do, but yeah, when you're that power hungry, you just don't know how about going.
Because at least with Caleb, when you really look at it, he will. He'll tell, like, when something's wrong, when he's upset, he'll voice it versus, like, trying to make somebody jealous. You know, we kind of ragged on him a little bit for being kind of desperate, but at the same time, he was actually voicing his concerns. So, you know, definite points for Caleb.
I love Caleb. I just don't love him in
right aside.
this part of the book.
I do. I like Caleb. I think Darius is best, but Caleb as a character.
Yeah.
I really like.
Like I said, I like Caleb. I just, in this one part of the series, I cannot get past the part where he intended to take her to that mountain in the dark and leave her with no way home, no atlas. She doesn't know where she is. Like, she's never been outside of Zodiac in this world.
But he doesn't do it.
He doesn't. And that's why I don't hate him. And I do eventually forgive him. But it's very hard for me to get past the intentions.
Was that his intention or was it more the group's intention?
It was his intention because the group wanted him to continue to date her so that they don't see the plans that they have for them after the reckoning. He's the one who insisted on doing this.
That's right. Tiny mistake.
I think in Caleb's defense, even though he doesn't need defending probably, I think he felt very betrayed by Tori's actions. And he we get a glimpse of that later when he's like, I can't believe that she did that to me and is now just smiling in my face. Basically being two-faced, which they are Geminis. You know, he's just really hurt that she's acting so differently to him, which arguably is what he does as well to her.
True.
But I will say he probably just felt really betrayed in that moment. And I get it. It's like reactionary. You know what I mean?
I can see the betrayal. And I do give him points for the fact that whenever she brings up the fact that the last time you videoed me, you and your friends were trying to kill me. And he's like,
yeah.
Oh, and you said you'll punish me for that.
Yeah, he immediately gets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike Darius, who's like, I don't care if I pushed her to it.
Yeah.
Caleb was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
but I feel like he was not two-faced.
Yeah.
He always told her, I will treat you differently. You're still my enemy, but this is separate. So he's actually told her that he's going to act differently depending on the situation. So.
Yeah, I mean.
I think he's still being two-faced by doing it, but at least he is aware of it.
And I get the betrayal part too, but it's also, he listened to Darius when Darius told him, she's laughing at you behind your back and she did this to make fun of you and whatever. And in fact, no, this was punishment. It was not something to be intentionally cruel in that way. Like, she's not sleeping with him and look at what I got him wrapped around my finger.
Right.
It wasn't that way. And they all assumed it was.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're used to.
That's true.
And maybe that was the thing. He was hurt because he felt like she was different. And then because this one part was true, that she had created something as punishment to kind of make him a laughing stock, that it's not that far of a stretch for her to be laughing at him as well, or for him to believe that. So, in that moment when he found out, but I think the more he talks to her, the more he's having trouble maintaining that.
I agree. I think this whole conversation made him go, maybe I did deserve that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to be fair, they nearly killed her, and Tori and Darcy just kind of embarrassed him.
Yeah, she just got his reputation, which I love. I just recently read the Darkmoor Penitentiary series, and there's a Pegasus gang in there.
Oh my God.
And one of them has a tattoo of Caleb on their bicep, screwing a Pegasus with the caption, horny for the horn, underneath.
That is amazing.
And I was like, it continues, because that book is supposed to be 5 years in the future after this book series ends.
Still.
And so it's still going strong.
He became a meme.
He did.
Although I like the fact that, like, in the maniacal car ride, that he plays into the whole Pegasus thing, because she keeps making comments, and he's like...
how about that confused the fuck out of me? I was like, Caleb? Question mark. I was like, what are you doing? Even if it's a joke, this is kind of a bizarre joke.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I'm really into Pegasus, and I love that he pulls on her ponytail.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I was re-listening to it. I heard that, and I was like, pony, ponytail. Maybe Caleb does have a thing.
Oh my God.
What does one of them say? Hell, how could you not be into Pegasuses? How could you not be into a girl that's super happy that you're fucking her?
Wait, that Max?
Yeah, Max does it. He's like, I'm going to have to detox my room because there's so much anger in here. I'll just screw a Pegasus girl because they got happiness to spare.
Oh, Max. Oh,
He's
man.
like, I don't understand why Caleb hates that rumor. Who doesn't like fucking a girl who smiles the whole time like you're doing her a favor?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably fucking true. Ugh.
Okay, so back to Diego and Darcy. The ride that they go on, and then they see Tyler and Sophia, and Tyler's, of course, kissing Sophia. Diego responds by kissing Darcy.
Oh, God.
I immediately went, no. I was just laughing, but like horrified.
Yeah, like, I agree with her. Like, even if he did it out of revenge, which I'm not sure he did, ask!
Yeah.
Don't just surprise her with that.
Yeah.
Of course, he doesn't realize that this is a fake date.
I don't know if it's a fake date or a real date. I feel like there should be some warning or build up if you're gonna kiss somebody.
Yeah. Agreed. And after this kiss and the fact that, she sees Orion and knows that he saw the kiss, and she literally uses her power to blow people out of the way and then sees him kissing Franny. Which basically she's like, I'm destroyed now. My world is falling down. We're over. We had one night together and we're over.
Because that's not obvious, blowing everybody out of the way.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
A path right to him.
Yeah.
But Diego doesn't notice at all.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, and then they have a conversation afterwards, Diego and Darcy, where she's like, and we're friends, right? And she confesses to setting up Sophia and Tyler. But wasn't he there when he came over during that lunch and asked Sophia to the dance?
I think what she meant when she confessed to it was that they had planned it ahead of time. Because remember, before they got there, they had talked about it. They planned because Diego wasn't doing anything. And they just saw the opportunity to enact the plan at that moment. So I think that's what she's confessing to.
Yes.
The way that it happened, though, they were like at lunch or something, and they go, hey, Sophia, guess what we heard? Somebody likes you.
Right. But they had talked about it before, setting them up.
But,
because when Tyler had said, put in a good word for me.
But it wasn't a sneaky setup either. To me, this sounds like a confession of, oh, hey, Diego, I set up Tyler and Sophia. Yeah, that was obvious from the beginning. I could be reading it wrong, but...
I think it's okay. This is getting a little too into social dynamics, but if you and your friends are all hanging out and stuff like that, and one of your friends does something like that, it's like they're giving you permission out loud. hey, you should go talk to this guy, or we approve of this guy, or we like this person, and you should go talk to them. And we know that you're into Diego, but it's okay for you to go talk to Tyler, and it's not going to be weird if you do, kind of thing. Because, like, that's what I read it into.
Okay.
That's how I read it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, like, if they...
Sort of.
If they had not said something out loud, like, hey, we heard that someone likes you, maybe Sophia would be less inclined to talk to Tyler.
I get that. I just don't get the whole confessing it to Diego, because Diego was there when they said that.
Yeah, but before, after Tyler asked him to put in a good word, they had a conversation after that about, oh, wait, isn't she with Diego? And it was like, no, he's not. He doesn't have his act together. He hasn't asked her out. So we're going to absolutely put in a good word for Tyler. Let's give him a little run for his money kind of thing. That was before.
I get that.
So that's what she's confessing to, is that they actively were trying to get her and Tyler. Yeah.
Okay.
Not just that they did it and he was there, but like they were rooting for it. Like they were like, hey, we want this to happen, and that's actively working against you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I kind of understand.
You're like, I still don't quite get it.
I've never been that great with social dynamics, so
I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too into it. I don't know.
it's not like it doesn't come up later in the book or anything, so it's just something that I was like, that's weird that she's confessing to this. And that could just be me being, autistic, so.
But also, to be fair, Darcy really thinks that Diego really likes Sophia, and I don't think he does.
You don't think he does?
No, he's
he
treating her
does.
like shit. At the dance, he ditched her.
I don't think he likes her as much as at least we originally thought. Maybe he does, but it's not like they seem to think.
I think she's an evil beard. she is not evil. But
That's what you were saying at first. I was like, what? I thought we liked Sophia.
I do like Sophia.
She's a cover for him being evil.
Yes. Yes. I think that's he used her as like a cover.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Oh, I love when Brittany gets quiet because you know we're on the right track.
So back to Caleb and Tori, going back to like the very beginning of when he was gonna pick her up. He was late, and then he accused her of standing him up because she went to the shuttle bus instead.
Jackass.
I wanted to slap him. I would have done the same thing as Tori. Is just like, she waits 30 minutes? No.
Yeah, no, she has respect for herself.
Okay, but quick question. Didn't he tell her that he wasn't going to be on time because he had something to do?
No, they left later than everybody else because he had something to do. So she was already late to the fair.
Oh,
they were going to meet at the orb at, 7? And he didn't show up until 7:30.
Okay.
Which, by the way, they say 7:30, or no, they say 7:30 in the book.
Brits,
and it was weird. I was like,
but okay, and another thing too. So she sees Milton,
and they have a moment.
Did he just melt away when Caleb comes in? Because I actually went back and tried to look like where he went, and it was like,
hold on. There is a part where when he shows up, he does like scoot away. It's okay. What are you doing here? He asked me, a frown tugging at his brow as he drew closer. Milton swiftly got up and moved away as Caleb shot him a dark look.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
So Caleb scared him away.
Chris
All
is
right.
like, damn
All right.
it.
I missed that part. What was like?
He's still slightly afraid of the airs, even though he's...
I get it. No. Nothing bad on Milton. I totally get it. I was like, where the hell did he go?
I love, though, that she was like, well, I was originally going to go with Geraldine, and I was even going to ditch Caleb until Justin Masters wanted to escort me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You still think he's a plant? An ass plant?
Yes. Yes.
He's a
He
plant.
must be an ass plant.
Yes, and it's very
That's the one we
funny.
saw, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's funny.
So she shares this moment with Milton, and then Caleb comes to pick her up, and he does not understand her need for the window down and the no seatbelt. But I thought about this. I know y'all had like issue with it, but Max never told them the memory. He only told her that she's afraid of drowning.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It took me a minute to remember that part because we know it so intimately.
Yeah.
The other boys don't yet.
Okay.
For context, for the listeners, we had talked about this a little bit before the episode, And I was saying that Caleb just doesn't reach the mark that Darius does sometimes because Caleb doesn't seem to get Tori on that level. Obviously, he should know why she doesn't want to wear a seatbelt. Like, things just don't click for him. But that's a good point, Brittany. He probably doesn't know.
Though you would think that he would ask, or you're like, hey, what's going on? Maybe notice that, she doesn't like cars, she doesn't like seatbelts, she doesn't like this.
Right.
He does not pick up those things. He doesn't necessarily do anything to investigate them either.
Right.
Whereas Darius seems to automatically just intuit things sometimes about Tori.
Right. But that's
Does
the thing.
Caleb have...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No. You go.
Oh, no, go ahead.
God damn it. Don't forget your thought. I'm sorry I'm always interrupting you.
You're not.
I was going to say, that's the thing about Caleb, though, is that he doesn't seem to want to know more about her in some ways. He has this infatuation with her that seems very surface level. Like, he doesn't know why he can't get away from her, but he also doesn't seem to take it to the next level. He doesn't want to take it to the next level in the same way that she doesn't.
Oh, yeah. He sometimes gets hurt by the fact that she's like, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
You don't own me. But he knows that his position on the council will never allow him to seriously date her. So,
Yep.
Do we ever meet any of his siblings, Caleb's siblings? Are they good relationships, or are they kind of like not? I don't think it's spoilery.
But it can be, because what if his siblings wanted his seat on the council?
And the reason why I ask is because we compare him to Darius as far as his attention. And the thing is, before, he's never had to pay attention like that to a girl. He's never wanted to. So he's not had that practice. But then Darius has Xavier, who has probably taught him to deal with his emotions somewhat, to be concerned about somebody else, to ask questions. But I don't know if Caleb has had that same kind of sibling.
Caleb does not have a parent who beats the shit out of their children.
Well, that too. But, I don't know if he has had an opportunity with another sibling to exchange information and check on each other and stuff like that. If they've got that kind of relationship, kind of like Xavier and Darius do, that maybe Darius watches out for his brother. Oh, well, to his best ability, he does.
Another thing about vampires is that they are very, very, very much loners, and their very vampire state drives them into competition with each other.
So when you consider that, he actually is very aware of other people's feelings. For him to be a vampire and still kind of do that, like, for him, that's a big, emotional kind of.
His vampire state drives him into competition with other vampires.
Right. But that's what I'm saying, though, is he doesn't come from a family of, like, huggers, Whereas I'm sure Xavier and Darius, like, probably hug.
I don't know, honestly.
In my mind, they do.
I know that Melinda Altair loves her son. She will do anything for her son. And I do think that the vampire nature is lessened with the fact that they're family a little bit.
Yeah.
I think she does hug him at one point. I don't know. But I don't think that it's a very touchy-feely family. Just like Orion's family is not a very touchy-feely family, although he hates his family, so he loved his dad and his sister.
Actually, I feel like Caleb should get a little extra credit, even though he's not quite on Darius's level, but he's starting farther back.
Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
Local Caleb apologist.
I do love me some Caleb.
You do.
I love him too. I do.
He's like a little stuffed animal.
A little fanged stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Who fucks Pegasuses?
Speaking of the vampire nature,
Not sure where that speaking of was coming from.
Caleb says that hunting Tori is very dangerous for him with the lunar eclipse because he could kill her. And hunting is not encouraged because it's known to end up with dead fae. And yet, here he is hunting her yet again, nearer to the lunar eclipse. And even Orion mentions it to Darcy later, and Darcy's like, oh, I need to mention to Tori that that's not a good idea. Who thinks this is going to end badly?
Yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get any more of the lunar eclipse in the next book, are we?
No, it's pretty much over.
It's looking pretty good. For Caleb, it's pretty
I
good.
mean the hunt in general, if they continue their little hunting game.
You mean after the lunar eclipse?
Throughout the series.
Oh, I think he'll be fine. Yeah.
Christy's like, it's fine. It's gonna be fine. fine.
You don't think it's going to have any bad consequences?
Oh gosh.
Just the ones that are good.
Consequences like Darius losing his shit over his jealousy.
I know, I'm
I like
curious
those
about that. We'll talk
consequences.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, when I was reading the maniacal driving part,
The maniacal driving part. I love that.
I really felt like that, especially you, Lily, but I thought you too would enjoy that.
What?
With the whole like vampire, like, grrr, I'm gonna hurt you. Wait, no, I'm not. Like, she ends up on him on the hood.
Oh my gosh.
It ended nicely. I did not appreciate the beginning.
Yeah, I think I was so upset about how he was handling the beginning part of that I did not care about the rest of it, really, in that way.
Even with the ending, the whole scene with his, like, punishing kiss, that was like, yeah, you get it, Caleb. But... Punisher. Sir Harder.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, I just had this other thought.
Do you need a moment?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that these authors have they have a spanking fetish and they have
a punishment fetish.
A punishment fetish. And they have a like sir fetish.
Power imbalance fetish.
Because in the Darkmoor Penitentiary series, one of the love interests that's also a reverse harem is a correctional officer. And she's like, yes, sir, are you going to punish me?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Are they married? The authors?
They're sisters.
Not to each other.
They're sisters?
Oh. Yeah, I assume that they're married since they don't have the same last name.
Yeah.
So, how insecure must their husbands be? Like, there's a lot to live up to. I mean, my God.
Actually, you never know. Their husbands could be the source of this.
They also clearly have a thing about being screwed from behind.
Power imbalance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every domination sex scene that I've read from them immediately starts with, I'm going to bend you over.
Yep, it is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a school thing, too.
It's a control thing.
Did they go to Catholic school? The authors, maybe.
Do they have Catholic school in England? I know they were very anti-Catholic for a really long time.
Wasn't it like a half and half?
Do you think that, since my original theory was that it's a fanfic, do you think that it's a self-insert fanfic and they are the twins?
I do, because they have another series where there are two sisters who are twins.
Yeah. Mm. Yep. So this is actually a self-insert fanfic. Yeah.
I'm curious.
Do you think one of them married a teacher?
A teacher. Are they twins?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a self-insert. I get it.
I think they're definitely twins. They look so... Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the pictures, I was like, oh.
Where? I don't see them.
But it's enough. Like, seeing that they're twins and... It just makes sense.
It's so funny, too, because when I was reading Darkmoor, I was like, okay, so this character is Seth, and this character is...
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, they're just Tori and Darcy, for sure.
I wonder who's Tori and who's Darcy.
I was wondering that, too, but I feel like potentially Darcy is Suzanne, Tori is Caroline. I'm taking a guess. I'd have to watch some of their videos.
Oh, and how about Caleb? He bites her and then takes more blood than he should have, probably. Even though he heals her, it's enough to make her dizzy. And I'm like,
That's dangerous.
Lunar eclipse, though.
And he's lucky that she was able to replenish later.
Yeah. Okay. So then we get to Darcy and the Ferris wheel.
Which I called.
I know. I was like, there is a Ferris wheel and there is a kiss. You both got it right.
Yep. It just wasn't what we thought it would be.
Yeah. Darcy gets in the carriage and Diego is pushed out of the way by Orion, who's like, I need my source.
Can I just say that it is that makes me love Orion? The way he just pushes Diego out of the way, gets on the Ferris wheel, and then fast forward, the way he fucking jumps off the Ferris wheel like a nut, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Ferris wheel person who does that, she's just like screaming, and he's like, I'll lock you in, and I know this is the Fey world, but come on.
Good stuff. And Orion's like, how could you do that to me?
Yeah. She's like, I brought him here to do what you asked.
Yeah.
He's like, no, you hurt me. And I'm in my feelings about it.
Yeah. Oh.
I particularly like that Lance is always just very honest with her. Is he stupid sometimes? Yes. But at least he's just upfront about it. When he finally does come to talk to her, he's like, that hurt my feelings. And also, I didn't like it when you did that, so please don't do that again.
And he was like, if you're going to hurt me in the future, which I love that he assumes that she's going to need to hurt him in the future.
Yeah.
Use your hands. Physical pain. It's fine. I'd
that.
much rather feel that than this.
Yeah.
I want to slap Darcy when she's like, no, we're over. We're over. And he's like, do we feel over?
He's
no.
like, stop being dramatic, you stupid bitch. We're not over.
I'm sorry. Would that be in a mirror?
They're made for each other, okay?
Yes.
So Darcy tells Orion that they cannot be right until he apologizes. So yes, he does jump out to go work on his apology. Which is ridiculous.
I love it. Oh.
But when Darcy gets off the Ferris wheel, Diego is there. And he's a little protective at first. Like, oh, did he hurt you? And then he gets to be a little bitch.
Oh, the rage that I felt. Oh, my blood was boiling.
Entitled little prick. Little fucking prick. I'm going to take his fucking abuela's fucking hat.
Like, oh yeah? You think that I'm a whore? Okay, well, I'm gonna take your hat. And I'm gonna smash your fucking box. What you gonna do about it?
I get him not liking Orion. I don't get him despising Orion. I mean, okay, yeah, the breaking of the box.
And the stealing of the hat.
Yeah.
But he shouldn't have treated her that way.
Yes. You can dislike
could've-
Orion and not be a complete jackass to someone who has been nothing but a good friend to you.
And he called her pathetic. And that her crush was tragic.
And you're fucking tragic, you.
And that he wished Orion died. Literally, Darcy wouldn't be alive had Orion not survived that battle to save her. Darius wouldn't be alive had Orion not survived. And Darcy's the one that saved him. So I'm just like, do you know how much of a spit you just spat in her face?
Well, she's the whole fucking reason that he's still in school.
Exactly.
Your ass would be out. You wouldn't be at the fairy fair.
And she's the only one that takes fucking pity on him because no one else does. And the fact that he looks into her face, calls her pathetic, how fucking ironic. And then he says, you're just, I think he says a bitch, actually, but he calls her a whore.
He actually said,
you're a whore like your sister.
Yeah, but he's just an entitled jackass. He did not care about being friends with them. He did not care about any of that shit. Literally, he just either as Darcy as his assignment or Darcy as his like love interest, whatever it was, he felt entitled to a position with her. And when he didn't get it, he threw a fucking fit like a little male baby.
Yep. Did he say that to her, or did he say it in Spanish, or did he say it
to Darcy? It was in English. To Tori, it was in Spanish. And I've read that they could be
you're right,
interchangeable. The Spanish word.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was just trying to remember if it was. I thought I had it backwards.
But I wrote a quote down here that I wanted to bring up with y'all and see if y'all thought anything about it. After she slaps him, it says, he stared at me with a murderous glint in his eyes. He stepped forward, and I stumbled back a step before remembering I was 10 times as strong as him. But for half a second, it didn't feel like that. Power seemed to radiate from him.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, and I was thinking, what is he?
Do you think he's maybe hiding his power level?
Maybe. I'm trying to figure out what his order is.
Okay, does his order ever come out? Order.
Not next book, but the book after.
Is Nymph an order?
Is he a late bloomer, or is it intentional?
Is Nymph a bloomer? I mean, I'm sure. In order.
Nymph is not an order, though nymphs are not fae. But if nymphs were fae, then the tree-like being would be the order form, and then they have a fae form.
Okay. So could he...
He could be.
Because I'm just thinking, because they don't know how to use their power if they've taken it from somebody, correct? Until they're either shown or they... Right?
Yeah.
But we have him use power, right?
Yeah.
But it's small bits, and that's all they can use is small bits,
He only has a little
right?
bit of power that he's shown us. However, if he's a nymph, that means he murdered somebody to get that power.
Yeah.
Fucking abuela. He killed his abuela.
If he's a nymph, his abuela would be a nymph. And she wouldn't have elemental power.
Maybe she was just for fun.
Hat. Sorry.
Yes. There you go. When somebody's abuela. Wow. It's a trophy. It's a serial killer trophy.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
We knew from the beginning that there was something up with Diego, and at this point, I have no fucking clue, but I know it's gonna be some weird shit.
He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Not after that.
Stop laughing, Brittany. I need to know your secrets.
So Darcy takes out her atlas to call Tori, but decides against it because she might be having a good time.
She was.
She doesn't want to ruin her good time, so she decides she can have fun on her own. So this woman calls her, and she gets drawn into this attraction with like a hall of mirrors, but instead of like a regular hall of mirrors that we would know of, these mirrors show her past, her present, and her future. Any thoughts on that?
It was weird to me that this scene happens and then we just go on about our day.
Does it ever come back to that?
Well, see, my thing is that I think it already they showed the future, and it says in the future one, she sees a shadowy moon in the sky with red and blue flames at the bottom. And I was like, is this the lunar eclipse?
I remember that, but what
was that just a way to remind us?
I guess so. I don't know. I felt like the scene was a little unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree.
So then she gets a text from Lance telling her to go to the circus tent. He's ready to make his apology. She goes, there's this stage called The Numb Man, and Orion is announced as a contestant. He's got to sit in this chair and be electrocuted along with this other guy, and whoever bows out first, the other is the winner. So
I was listening to the book and I was like, you fucking idiot.
Of course it's rigged, dumbass.
God, but I love Darcy's like, fuck this. Let me find the clause. There you go. Bitch, you're done.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Oh, God. I wish, though, in the book, did they yell out like the numb man when he's like, oh?
No.
Like, I pictured like little girl scream.
Oh, not a little girl scream. No. I mean, you do hear the, ah! But yeah.
It's not as fun as you'd think it would be.
No.
No, that's
It's not as
disappointing.
dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Orion wins. Ask her if she needs a ride home. They meet behind the tent. He drives up in his Ferrari because we can't not put Faye in everything. And she's like, what the hell is wrong with you? You nearly gave me a heart attack. He's like, I nearly gave myself a heart attack, so are we even?
But I love the fact that at this point, he doesn't even know that she helped him.
Yeah. He just thinks that he did it.
Yeah. And she's like, you idiot. You could have just said the words. He's like, oh, dang it.
He thought he had to make a grand gesture, you know?
He's never really apologized before.
And stupid.
And he's stupid. And then I love that she's like, well, technically you owe that apology to Tori. And he's like, damn it, am I going to have to electrocute myself for Tori?
Although, that begs the question, if somebody really hurt you, would them electrocuting themselves make you forgive them?
Not normally.
No, you.
Me?
You,
Well,
yeah.
it would depend on the person. Like, with Orion,
No, in your real life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the person. The reason this works for me with Orion is because he kind of equates this pain with, I'm taking this pain for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if a real guy would do that. I don't know. If I knew that guy was like, I'm taking punishment for you.
Not necessarily a guy.
Or a girl.
If a certain evil person
Oh,
who I won't
someone
name in
that
your
we know
life
very well.
said, I will electrocute myself as an
If
apology.
either of my two nemesis ever electrocuted themselves to get an apology, I'd let them believe that I'd forgive them just so I could watch them and still hate them.
And you would be like, turn it up.
Yeah.
You're like, they'd have to be close to death.
Pretty sure death is what she would be.
I don't know if I'd still forgive them after that. I'd be like, that's a start. That's a start.
That's beautiful.
How about you, Lily? If your Marguerite said, I will electrocute myself as an apology, would that be enough?
I feel like I would laugh at her, And I don't think she'd do it, if I'm being honest. But no, I don't think that'd be a good apology. You know what's dumb? I could see Johan doing this.
Aww. No.
I know, and I would have the same reaction as Darcy, probably. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're so stupid. What? You know, but like, I can't see this apology working for anyone except for someone like Johan.
Yeah. I'd have to, even if they did go through with the electrocution, I'd also have to see some major behavioral.
I can't imagine that somebody would electrocute themselves and then not make the behavioral changes that led to the electrocution in the first place.
Okay. Okay. See, that's why I said that I didn't think Maggie would do it, because you're right, because she wouldn't make behavioral changes. She wouldn't.
Yeah, no. Once you cross a line with me, I don't know if you can step back over that line.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to envision.
Yeah.
And it's like you have to really, really push me to my absolute limits before I'm like, this is the line, you've crossed it. There's no going back.
Yeah. That's understandable, though.
I think I'm the same way. Once you've crossed a line, and it takes a while for you to cross that line with me, I will give you multiple chances. But once you've had those chances and I am done with you, I'm done.
Yeah.
I get that.
What about you? Would you forgive?
It would depend on the circumstance and the person. I'm trying to think of somebody that I really...
You don't have any I hate yous?
I try not to do like I absolutely hate yous or reserve them for just certain people, because that takes so much, I don't know, emotion to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
I usually get to the I don't cares. You know, it's not so much I hate, but if I can be like, hey, I hope you have a good life, but it's just not going to be including me.
I also am similar. I don't tend to hate people. I kind of get to this place of indifference, and once you've reached indifference with me, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It takes a lot for me to get to a place where I loathe somebody. I don't care about a lot of people, but I don't like loathe them. There's really only like 3 people on this earth that I loathe, that I would not care one bit if they died.
Damn.
I might even celebrate a little bit on one particular one.
I mean,
anyways.
For me, there's only one subject, which I'm sure you can guess, that would actually drive me into the loathing someone, that I would actively use energy to loathe them and hate them. Animals. That's it. Other than that, it's indifference. But now with animals, yeah, it's an active hatred.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Darcy beats up Orion's car as well, which I love that he's like, she doesn't like that. So he admits that he called in this anonymous tip to get rid of Franny, and Darcy admits to what happened between Diego. Orion's like, I'm gonna kill that kid.
Yes, please.
I love him.
And they end up having car sex, and I love this scene. I love it because it is the most realistic version of a car sex scene that I've ever read. Like, shower scenes are the same way. They're portrayed as like this easy, really sexy kind of thing. No, it's hard.
It's hard. It's slippery. It sucks. The levels aren't right, you know.
Hit your head on the ceiling. Honk the horn with your ass.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
You gotta bend all of your body parts to get in the right position. It's all, ugh.
And I love that he crowns her
So cute.
with his apology crown.
Oh, Orion, you are my favorite.
Yeah, she's like, don't let anybody know that you're going around putting crowns on my head. Might get awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he wants it. He just doesn't want to admit it.
And he pulls her hair and is like, that's for Diego. And she's like, that's for Franny. Makes him bleed.
She scratches him up.
Oh my God. I was talking to Taylor today and I was like, the lines in this book are so cheesy sometimes, where he's like, he's mad that he can't take Darcy into public. And she's like, well, I wish we could go be at the fair together. And he's like, yeah, me too. But I hear there's a fun fair opening up in my bedroom. Is there a roller coaster? No, but there's a slip and slide. Like,
that's terrible.
It's so corny and
so
yet
bad.
so funny.
I feel like he's learning from Washer.
Oh, no, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Oh my God. There is a character in Darkmoor Penitentiary that is the Washer of that book, only he's worse.
Ew.
How do you get worse?
You get jail.
Let's just say every time there's a riot, he throws off his clothes and, slaps people in the face with his dick. And
Is he taller than that?
no, if somebody gets punched and they fall on the ground, and he'll go, his nickname is Plunger, because he likes to dip his balls into people's mouths.
That's so bad.
So he's a teabagger.
Yeah. Oh my god.
How does he not get
Did they not
bitten?
have that in London? The term teabagging?
They might, but he also, sticks his dick in things that,
I think they would.
like in mouths and stuff. And
How does he not get bitten off if it's not?
Yeah.
funnily enough, people are afraid of him. I don't know.
I have no words for that. I think I can stay far away from the Dark Penitentiary series, and I'll be fine.
I'm trying to get in the mind of the authors. Like,
Yeah, like, what's wrong with y'all?
I actually think you might like it.
I know you do, Brittany, because somehow you've roped me into everything else.
I'm like, it could be just because I've read this book so many times at this point that I needed something new, but I'm a little obsessed with one particular guy who is the Lance Orion of that series.
Of course.
the warden.
The correctional officer.
Oh my god. Wow.
He's a vampire too.
Damn, I'd like him too. God.
See, that's what kills me, because you love vampires.
I do.
So how have you not watched Buffy?
It's not that I avoided it, it's just I never got
Like,
to
that's
it.
They end it with her admitting that she feels very drawn to him, and he's like, I feel it too.
I just love that moment. They were both like kind of admitting how intimate that they feel. I don't know. They had a good conversation.
Thought she was going to tell him she loved him.
So close, so close.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Caleb and Tori arrive at the fairy fair. Finally. He has blood all over his shirt, and she's like, dude, kind of makes you look like a messy eater.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the fact that she whacks him with a log.
Which, good for her.
Yeah. But
He's
anyway.
like, damn, she actually hit me kind of hard.
Yeah. He's like, why'd you do that? Because you were hunting me like a psycho.
He was.
But he gives her phone back after he snatched it like a psycho as well.
Yes.
And then uses his vampire speed to speed Tori past the paparazzi and to the lovely heirs. And they give him a hard time about, backing out of his plans, but he's like, it won't interfere with our plans for after the reckoning. They're still on.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on what those plans might entail? If they're supposed to be worse than drowning her?
Yeah, I'm really wondering, what could they possibly have planned that he thinks he's still going to get away with fucking her? I don't know.
Yeah. Especially when after they're like, okay, so we can't beat them down. We have to go about it in a different way.
And yet, what do? They try to beat them down.
But they still try to do that. I don't know.
Their not beating them down plans are for after the reckoning.
Okay.
I think it's going to be the same shit. I think they're just going to do the same shit over
I
and over.
think they're going to try the Caleb humiliation route, and they're going to try to undermine their credibility again or something.
Can Tori be humiliated?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
She's already a sex addict. What else
Yeah.
can they do to her?
Yeah.
And she's like leaning into that, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Also, what did y'all think about Caleb? Thought he would take her out there and make her confess and that she would break down and cry.
Like,
That doesn't sound like Tori at all.
yeah, like another point towards you don't know her. You don't get her.
I think they're just oddities in that land, as far as how normally not just a girl would act towards them, but also someone that they would consider a lesser fae would act, because they're used to having other people kind of bow to them. And I think that's what Caleb likes.
They're used to being on top, and they're not used to anybody being able to stand up to them.
And I think Caleb likes that in a way, a little bit. He just didn't know he liked it.
Maybe he recognizes that a little better now.
I also think it's hilarious that he says that chances are they won't make it through the reckoning. He's literally just watched them ace 3 out of 4 of their elemental tests. And
Yeah.
granted, the reckoning is wholly different. The stars are the ones actually judging them. But still, really? Like, just based on I took her out there to, confront her while she was vulnerable, and I thought she would cry, and she didn't, but I don't think she's gonna pass the reckoning.
I think it's just wishful thinking.
Yeah, just big talk.
He also thinks that he might break Tori's heart, which I find hilarious.
He's in denial.
Yes.
He's trying to talk himself up.
Yeah, and Seth's like, well, I don't think there's a chance of you breaking her heart, because she's over there at the kissing booth already.
Yep.
And that causes a scene when Darius storms over there.
Yeah.
Darius is also someone who cannot help himself. He just had to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm helping you so that you don't show up on the press as somebody who's to pay for kisses.
And she's like, you are fucking stupid. I wasn't even looking at that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I was trying to do something nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for Caleb him showing her that he did it kind of took a little bit of the goodness out of it. But
Yeah.
the fact that was his first thought was to donate. You kind of, I feel like Caleb can learn, you know?
Yeah, I think I will give him credit that he, in this moment, goes, oh, she was looking at a charity for an orphanage. Oh, they were
She's an-
orphans.
Twice over.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like,
And he connected
"Shit."
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, he does kind of like do his little sort of apology where he's like, some of your friends are assholes too. And she's like, if you can name 5 of my friends, I'll forgive you.
And he can't.
He's like, you don't have 5 friends. You're not that likable.
Good banter.
She's like, yeah, fine. Name 3. I love that she's like, yeah, you're right. 3. And he goes, he had already named Darcy. And so he named Geraldine. And then he describes Sophia as the little one with the nice ass and the pixie cut. And he's like, Sarange?
I forgot about that.
He's like, so Sarange works. And then there's Hat Boy.
I forgot about Sarange. I was cracking up about that.
Well, and she kind of was like, yeah, okay, that works. I mean,
she's like, yeah,
you know.
that's good enough.
He really likes that hat.
I just thought that was really funny about Sophia.
That's Sarange.
Even though I said before it, my pet peeve is not getting people's names correct, I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah. And sadly, it will become a running gag, the name thing.
Oh no.
Every series has a character that does it. Leon and his Mendies, who you get to meet later.
Love that.
Yeah. And then there's Sin Wilder and his Nigels. He calls people, he doesn't remember their name Nigel because the government is trying to convince us that there are Nigels, and he doesn't believe it. So he makes them up.
What's his name?
Sin Wilder.
Sin?
S-I-N.
God damn it. God damn it.
That's what order form he is.
I wish y'all could see me shaking my head right now. I don't know. A
But you meant
siren.
us.
No, I mean the listeners.
He's an incubus.
Ooh.
Oh.
God, that's even worse that his name is Sin Wilder.
He recharges his magic through sexual energy.
Wow. So, God, if you're like an ugly one.
Can I be an incubus? I think I'd have a fun time.
Yeah, all he has to do is be around people having sex and his magic.
Oh my god, so
okay.
just
All right.
orgies all the time? Or,
So just, fraternities.
He can just peeping Tom on somebody, and
oh yikes.
as long as he can feel their lust,
That's gotta be
sexual
difficult.
energy.
Sorry, that's gotta be difficult for whenever, if you're in a battle and you need like a top up, what do?
Jerk off.
Oh god.
But at least,
I guess.
as long as you feel lustful, you feed on your own lust, or you can...
But I
Okay.
mean, which, you hold, sword and like,
Okay.
Double fisted.
I was just like,
Are either one of you gonna read the Darkmoor Penitentiary series?
potentially.
What?
Oh, wait. So you're sucking on Darius's bottle
God,
while we're
Damn
talking
it,
about
not
this. So
this
just,
again. Not this again?
So, okay, would y'all mind if I said something that's semi-spoilery?
No, I don't mind.
In that series, like the whole point of that series is somebody goes into Darkmoor in order to break out somebody. And so they're fighting the guards at one point, and Sin's like, I'm running out of magic. Somebody jerk me off. In the middle of the battle.
That is
He
great.
can't do it himself?
Didn't do it himself, but he's like, I need both hands.
He's like, somebody please help me. That's amazing.
Why couldn't they just go in the back door?
Go in the back door.
Seems like that would be more convenient,
Probably could've, but
That way he doesn't have to like
that
drag him
takes
along.
prep.
It seems like,
Okay, that takes
Yeah.
prep, okay? But you could just whip out the dick and get started. You don't
Yeah.
have to prep the front. Oh my god.
How would you do that with someone attached to you? Like,
I mean-
do you get like a baby carrier under there? Like, or a swing thing?
from the side.
Hold 'em? Maybe they gotta hold on as they're moving around.
Well, he was actually holding up a shield. So he was just literally like holding up the shield like that.
Oh, he didn't have to move.
So
he
he didn't
wasn't
have to
like
move.
swashbuckling.
His
All right.
shield was about to fail, and so somebody had to jerk him off. And it was not a girl.
I love
And the
that.
guy who ended up doing it was like, fine, since it's our lives on the line.
Come on, put a little effort into it.
Like, come on, at least enjoy it. Then I'll feed off of you too, just a little bit. That's amazing. Now I have to read it.
Oh my god.
Now I want to read it.
It's a good book. In my opinion, I think it's better than the
Dark Fae.
Broken Bonds.
So it is a reverse harem.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Broken Bonds wasn't very good.
No. I mean, there were some characters to get excited about, though.
I loved the characters, but the story was terrible. Yeah.
This is an escape plot
Yeah.
with 4 guys, 1 girl.
Yeah, I kind of want to read that.
Anyway, the name thing. So Caleb buys Tori some cotton candy fae.
Yeah, which is the dumbest name ever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to talk about earlier. Why? Why does it need the fae? It's cotton candy.
Is it cotton candy fae or is it cotton canned fae?
It's CANDFAE.
I feel like it's canned fae in
Canned
the audio
fae.
book. I don't know.
It is. It's cotton canned fae. But
Dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're really stretching shit at this point.
Like, it's okay, I get it. It's funny, but only so many times.
fae book was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cute.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Like we used to tell my little brother, the joke is funny once. Milk the shit out of that joke.
I love that Tori was like, you know what I liked about you? He's like, everything. She's like, when you're not trying so hard, quit trying.
Yeah, that was good.
So she's like, all I want is somebody to make my heart run faster and make me feel alive. And so he decides to take her to the House of Horrors. And on the way, they run into Diego. And Tori asks about Darcy. And here's another quote for you. Hat Boy's gaze darkens slightly.
Evil.
And I'm just like, that might come up later, just so you know.
He's got
Evil.
plans.
Evil.
And, Diego tells her what happened, sort of. Meanwhile, Caleb is, like, interfering and shooing off Diego. And this is where Diego's like, you're just a punta like your hermana.
Yeah, he's like, you're just a whore like your sister, which is pretty fucked up.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like, anyway, I'm gonna be mad about it for a while.
Oh, Caleb should have ripped his fucking head off.
Tori
Yeah.
should have ripped his head off.
I agree.
Yeah, but Caleb's faster.
That's true. So they get to the House of Horrors. What did y'all think about this?
The rats.
The rats.
The rats.
Okay,
Absolutely
so
not.
I am sure this will not shock you. I was upset for the poor little rats. Like, they didn't ask to be taken there.
Aw.
That was just mean.
They weren't hurt.
They were pretty scared, though.
Well, they were summoned, not necessarily scared.
Right. They were probably doing their little rat things with their rat families, having a nice night, and then all of a sudden they were summoned to, like, this horror house with dipshit people running through.
I'm assuming that they had all these rats that they had there, and then, because they do it over and over again with people.
Oh, poor little rats. Right.
It's like putting
Like,
catnip in the middle of a room with a bunch of cats.
So I know that you have said before that Pegasus are not on the bottom end of the magic spectrum, and so I really thought that they were going to be rat shifters or something, and they were going to turn into fae.
Oh, is that the case? Because in that case, I don't mind.
It's unclear. It is unclear whether
I
or not
the whole time thought that.
they are rats or rat shifters.
Okay, I'm going to think that then, because I like that better.
You're like,
Some
as
of
long
the
as
shit
they're not
out of
real
them.
animals.
Yeah.
What about the rest of it? Would y'all want to go into a House of
House of
Horrors
Horrors?
like that?
I want to go into a Disney House of Horrors.
Yeah, I avoid the horror attractions at every fair, so no, absolutely not.
The whole elevator dropping? Mm-mm.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah.
Oh, I love those. That's different.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Those are so
Oh,
fun.
I did like that they got nailed at the end for like, starting to do it, and they're like, people are about to land on your head.
Yeah.
Have to move.
I'm so sorry, Sir Caleb. Can you guys please move?
Can you thrust over to the side?
I only ask because somebody might fall on your head, and we don't want to mess up your curls.
Please, sir. I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Caleb with his whole, I have half a mind to shut this right down so that I can have my fun right now.
Damn.
Jackass.
He's so fucking entitled.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course his, I'm a celestial heir. I don't queue.
Oh, yeah. Ugh.
Okay, that is very British. The whole queuing
Yeah.
thing. Oh my god.
Okay. So the next morning is the reckoning. reckoning, and Lance messages Darcy, and he's like, he wants her to pass the reckoning, and he uses hashtags. And she's like, I can't believe you just hashtagged me.
Oh yeah, that was goofy as fuck.
And then she's like, also, I can't believe you admitted that you want me to pass. And he's like, it's complicated.
Sure is.
I like that.
It's not complicated. He wants her to stay.
Yeah.
That's the only thing there.
If she
would make him-
failed, then they could be together.
That is true. That is true. Somebody should have mentioned that to Darcy. They really
Well,
wanted her to fail.
But if she gets the crown, they can also be together because then
Yeah.
it's her rules, and then he is king. Oh.
Yeah.
Do they have kings? Would it be they'd be the queens?
King
and
consort.
Love that.
that work. That works. That works.
Diego is staying well away from the twins during the reckoning.
Smart.
It's very much like the awakening, where they go out into this meadow and Professor Zenith initiates the test. But first they get their numbers from their elemental tests. Tori and Darcy both get 9s. Sophia got a 5, Tyler got a 7, and Diego got a 3. You have to get a 12 in order to pass the reckoning completely. Did y'all think that he would pass?
At that point, I was hoping not. But yeah, I figured he
Yeah, I did think he was going to pass.
squeaked by the little rat.
Yep. Maybe he's a rat shifter. Sorry.
What do you think about the reckoning as a whole? I know in episode
Wildly disappointing.
in
Agreed.
episode 1 or 2, y'all asked if you don't pass it, can parents come in and say that they did? And this is why I was like, really? Because the stars that actually test and judge you.
Yeah, but literally it was like the answer. It felt, have you watched Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
A long time ago, and I
And
didn't pay
they're
very
like,
much
what's
attention.
the answer to the question? They're like, 42. And they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What kind of fucking question is that? Like, that was the same way for this. I was like, what would you do for anything? Really?
It's testing how fey they are, though. They've said that over and over again. The reckoning tests how fey you are. And there's 3 questions. One is, what does a fae do when their back is against the wall? What does a fae do with their heart? And what will a fae do to claim their rightful place in Solaria? And basically, anything that you say that isn't anything means you're not fae enough.
How does anybody fail it? Because assuming that pretty much everyone other than the twins has lived there would know the answer.
Yes. But there's a character in the Ruthless Boys who is a rat shifter. He's very timid and he seeks for other people to protect him. He's not willing to protect himself. So I don't know if he would pass the reckoning.
But you would know the answer. They didn't have to actually protect themselves. All they had to do was say.
It was always implied to me, and I could be reading into this, but that the stars know your true heart. So if you are saying it and you're not actually believing it or feeling it for yourself, the stars would know.
I wondered what score the heirs got.
I do too. That would be nice to know.
Out of
But
curiosity.
Seth squeaked by, but he had a 12.
Why would
Oh,
you say
Lord.
that?
Because she hates him.
Because Food Boy sucks.
All right, so nearly 30 students don't, but of course, Kylie, Tyler, Diego, Sophia, and the twins all pass. And the freshmen disperse. The heirs approach the twins with yet another threatening message.
Of course.
Head on. Again, which they've already said doesn't work.
I love they're like, when you put your pretty little heads to sleep, know that we're coming for you.
I just can't take them seriously at this point.
No. I would say it's a bunch of clowns, but clowns fucking scare me.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
like, we're not going to let you graduate. Okay. Are you going to mess with my grades?
No.
What exactly are you going to do?
No.
We get a notice from Principal Nova next.
About contraception.
Yeah, she's
PSA.
like, these are the safety instructions on how to avoid disaster during the lunar eclipse. And make sure you cast your contraception spell when steps 1 through 4 don't work.
It's like, here's all these steps. I'm not going to be following them except for the contraception rule, but here's all these steps for you guys.
Tori is feeling all kinds of hot and, just staring out at the moon. And right after that, a message pops up on her atlas from Darius. And she's like sort of excited and then disappointed when she finds out it's to everyone in the house.
And she does something really impulsive.
The boots.
The boots.
Well, first she's like, I don't think I'm gonna go. I don't have anything to wear. And I swear to God, I feel like I don't know if Darius is, send me a pic. I'll give you an honest opinion. If this is a real offer or like, maybe she'll send me a dirty pic. Like,
I think it was a playful answer that could have gotten a response he wanted. I don't think he expected an underwear pic.
oh, he definitely did not.
Doesn't he say that a little bit later on?
Yeah,
When
he's
he's like,
does this mean she wants to screw me? If a girl sends you a picture of her in her underwear, does that mean something?
The way he obsesses over it, too. Like, he literally cannot stop thinking about it. And then he talks to Orion later, and Orion's like, you've been talking about her for an hour now.
Yeah, he's like, we've been together for an hour. 59 minutes of it, you've been talking about Tori. So go fuck her and leave me alone.
Literally. I love it.
But yeah, I love the fact that, one, she sends it and then she, like, immediately regrets it.
That's so relatable.
Then she takes a picture of herself after he dares her. And she's like, no, I'm going to delete it. Accidentally hit send.
oh, no. She didn't accidentally hit send.
What a liar.
That's what I thought too. I was like, sure, honey, sure.
Yeah, okay. And then Darcy comes in and dresses her in order to keep her away from Darius. But then later Darius is like, I kind of like that she looks a little innocent today.
Yeah. She's like, if I dress you like you're innocent, maybe you'll act like you're innocent. Like, when does that ever work? When?
And can I say, I could not imagine that in my head at all. I was like, that outfit doesn't compute for me and Tori.
And I love that she's like, are you sexting Darius? She's like, no, I just sent him a pic. It's fine. She's like, your underwear's transparent.
And then she's like, oh.
She's like,
yeah,
oh, shit.
Like,
my bad.
Whoops.
And in the notice that Darius sends, he's like, everybody must attend, show up or ship out. How is he supposed to know whether or not they showed up? Is he taking attendance?
It's an idle threat.
How is he going to kick them out of the house?
Oh my gosh.
I agree with Tori. I don't know if I could deal with Caleb and his Jekyll and Hyde-ness.
I agree, yeah.
I have dealt with that in a boyfriend, the same boyfriend who told me I wasn't pretty enough to date in public. So he would be really nice to me whenever we were alone. He would call and sing me to sleep, and he would be very, very upsetting to me in public. And yeah.
Karma.
Yeah, he ended up killing himself, so.
Oh, shit. Okay, there it goes. I didn't know that part of the story. I don't think we ever got there.
It was a whole emotional roller coaster because he was not nice at all and did not deserve the feelings that I had. But anyway, where were we?
We're talking about innocence. Oh, you said you didn't like Caleb's Jekyll and Hyde.
Jekyll and Hyde, yeah. And I love that Tori's like, I think I'm over Caleb. Maybe Darius is better with his whole attitude that he's an asshole and he knows it and hates sex is hot.
Yep.
Apparently.
He's a little bit Jekyll and Hyde, though, too, because he has moments where he's nice. It's not, I think Caleb defines him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he, Darius still has the Jekyll and Hyde thing going, too, though.
I agree.
She just was really thinking about Darius the whole day. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Well, the moon is pushing her towards somebody.
Her mate.
It's not Caleb.
So Darius shows up at her door and Darcy's like, doesn't she look nice, Darius? Tori's like, nobody wants to look nice, Darcy.
Wow.
What does he say? Tori's like, how did he make pretty sound dirty or something like that?
Yeah. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
Darcy's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
He didn't. That was in your head.
She's like, was it though?
I felt like he made it sound dirty. In my head, it sounded dirty.
It always is in your head, Christy.
So Darius is waiting around in the common room and Marguerite shows up. This is the first of this part of the book that we've had to deal with Marguerite.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, he's like,
It is.
what part of done don't you understand? Really?
Yeah.
I love that he still turns her away even during the eclipse. I just love it.
Which, by the way, we didn't talk about Kylie on the way to the reckoning. She's like, Seth and I were at it all night long, and I still have glitter on my whatever. I didn't have time to wash it off.
That threw me for a second. I forgot about the whole, Pegasus glitter for contraception, and I thought, was she fucking a Pegasus? Did we?
Yeah.
I was like, are they using a toy? What's going on?
Despite what Orion said, she still believes that Pegasus glitter kills werewolf sperm. Only werewolf sperm for some reason.
But Seth likes it. It feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Darius heads to Orion. He's like, maybe I should go because I'm late. And he can't be late to his house, can he? And then he gets there and there's a teacher orgy going on in the pool.
Your face.
Oh, mine? Oh.
Yeah.
I'm glad everybody felt the same way about the teacher orgy. Fucking Washer and his helicopter cock. I don't need that image in my head. I'm sorry.
Nope. I'm good.
And
Where's Lance?
Principal Nova
so
put some
gross.
clothes on.
Yeah.
So apparently, because her and Washer are together, were they going to share Lance?
Maybe so. Wouldn't you want to?
Yeah. I would not want to share him. Sorry, no.
Oh my gosh.
I don't share very well. Sorry.
Me either.
What if it was like Caleb and Lance, or Darius and Lance? Would you share them?
Brittany's rethinking it. What about Cassian and Azriel?
Uh-oh. Yeah.
I think Nesta would kill me.
All of a sudden, it sounds better, doesn't it?
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
Just has to be the right people. Anyways.
Yeah. So
Darius talks about Tori and is like, hey, does she want to fuck me? There's that. And then Orion takes a shower.
he's in the shower when Darius arrives.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then, yes, Darius is having like this confusion moment over, if a girl sends you a naked photo, does that mean she wants to screw you? And Orion's like, generally, yes.
Yeah.
And then they hear the teacher's like, where's Lance? And he begs Darius to take him to the secret lunar eclipse party that the students are having.
Yes. And Darius is like, but you have to promise me no stupid teacher stuff.
And then
And
Orion
Orion's
eventually
like, fine.
tells Darius to
Yes.
go get his girl. And Darius is like, I'm going to make her mine.
Yeah, he's like, I like the idea of that. My girl.
I was going to say, if Lance had just stayed at the naked teacher party, instead of if he wasn't with Darius at the beach party, then Lionel.
You don't think Lionel would have gone and gotten him?
I can't see Lionel being like, hello, naked teachers. Hold on just a second. Let me pull out Lance for a moment.
They might have done something like they did with Tori, and it's like, oh, he's alone. Snatch him.
Yeah.
But if he was at the naked teacher party, he would be alone.
Oh, I mean, Tori was in a group of...
He'd be like smothered with like Nova and Washer. Yeah.
I think Orion would have found a way out of it.
Yes.
Eventually. So, at the beach party, we get a lot here of Max calling a bunch of girls to him, and he manages to snare Geraldine for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Last we saw them, they were dancing together.
Do you think they fucked?
Any thoughts?
Do you think
Didn't
they
he
had
push
sex?
away all the other ones?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
once he caught Geraldine, he was like, everybody out of the way.
I love that.
He's always kind of got his eye on Geraldine.
Max and Jerry. Yeah, forever. I like it. I approve.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. What a prize.
Yep. Now she just got to get his ass in order.
I mean, so Geraldine is one of those characters who very much believes in celestial fate. So if the stars are pushing her towards Max, she may go with Max. But do you think it'll last?
Yes. I think he is going to be wearing an ass badge. Listen.
What about you, Lily?
I think that they have similar feelings that Tori and Darcy have felt for Darius and Orion. So, or at least it seems that way, like they're drawn to each other. So I think, yes, it's gonna last.
Oh, I love that at one point Darcy mutters under her breath, damn moon. And Tori's like, did you see dragon? Huh? What? Dragon?
Yeah. It's comical.
What do you
That
have on
sounds
your
nothing
brain?
like moon. You goofy.
And Lance texts Darcy to come meet him at Air Tower. And when she gets there, he's nowhere in sight, and he's like, Polaris is staring out the window like a axe murderer. So come to the Wailing Wood, in which they have some sexy time. And she's surprised by him spanking her for the first time.
Amazing.
Oh, he did it.
Oh gosh. I love them so much. They're my fave. I just love reading their interactions. They're just fun.
And she's like, I feel this need for something, like it's between my shoulder blades. And he's like, you're gonna have wings.
Yep. Starts messing with him.
Yeah, he's like, this helps when I do it for Darius. And she's like, tell me more about that.
And he's like, never mind.
Yeah, no, it's the bond makes us do weird things. It's fine. It's fine.
Terrible.
Then we get Seth and Kylie. And Seth is trying his very, very, very hardest to screw her. But but he just can't get it up for her.
What is it she says that, like, he's like, yeah, there it goes. What was it? Bye-bye, buddy.
She says, I love you.
Oh, Sethy, I love you.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like telling her to
R.I.P.
shut up. He's like, I need you to be my Omega, so shut the fuck up. And it works for a minute, and then she's like, oh, Sethy. And he's like, and there goes my boner.
R.I.P., buddy. I like that.
Yeah, that's literally what he says.
And so he goes looking for Darcy. Who thought this was going to end horrendously bad?
Me.
I was like, when I first read this, I was like, oh my God.
He's gonna see him.
He cannot know.
I bet he will, though. Does he end up thinking about it once he's sober? Does he end up thinking about it and realizing that they're together?
I think it's going to be one of those moments where he doesn't remember it now or in the next first chapters of the next book, but he's going to see something in the next book and he's going to be reminded and he's going to be like, wait a fucking minute. It's going to click. But it's going to take a minute because it's Seth.
Yeah.
And I love I bet his name is Brody or something lame like that. Fucking Brody.
Fucking Brody.
As I texted you when we were talking about this, when I first read this, I was immediately like, but Fourth Wing Brody is awesome.
That is a terrible name, so I'll give the authors that. Yeah.
And so he does catch Orion and Darcy on the path, and Orion pretends like he's feeding from her.
Which was quick thinking. That was smart.
Yeah.
But isn't he, like, shirtless?
No, he calls him muscular, but he's in a t-shirt. It's just... Seth's not used to seeing him in normal clothes. Yeah. And he tells Darcy that he finally broke up with Kylie. And he's like, isn't the moon pulling you towards me? And she's like, no, Seth, no.
Yeah, that was pretty pathetic.
He's like, are you sure about that?
Maybe he and Diego should be together.
Oh my God.
I mean, at this point, if you forget that he cut off her hair, Diego's done worse.
No.
If you forget that he cut off her hair.
And there's other stuff he's done that's...
Seth is a piece of shit, but right now I'm more angry at Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More, freshly
Mad at Diego.
Yeah.
So Tori's off by herself and she wanders off and runs into Darius. And they have like a moment and Darius is like, do you think you'll ever forgive me for the things I've done? And that's when Lionel shows up.
It was such a beautiful moment and he fucking ruined it. I was so happy, dude. I was like, let him have this. Just a little bit more. They always get interrupted.
Yeah.
I was bummed.
Side note, do y'all remember when y'all were like, yeah, I love Tori and I love her attitude and all that? And I said, keep that in mind. Yeah. Keep that in mind for this next book.
Oh.
She goes down a dark path.
Is it because of the shadows?
So...
I wasn't an answer.
You know, Brittany.
Lionel captures him, and it turns out that he's already captured Darcy and Orion as well, and he stardusts them to this place on a cliff. And Orion says that this is the place where his sister died. This is the ritual that killed his sister. And they thought they needed somebody pure. And of course, Lionel is immediately like, of course it has to be pure blood, but apparently there's another translation of it that means you have to be royal.
That's right. That's why Lionel couldn't do it.
And so, had the twins not come back, Lionel couldn't get his shadows.
So, when they emerge as phoenixes, how the fuck, like, why didn't they kill him right then?
What do you mean?
Well, when they emerged, and they're all, like, fiery and stuff, why didn't they kill Lionel right in that second? I mean, I know eventually it kind of goes out, but...
And they don't necessarily have control over their phoenix form or their fire.
There's a lot of people there they could have fired up, you know?
They could, but, like, Darcy and Tori both tried to force it out, and they couldn't before it fully emerged as a physical emergence.
Yeah.
They couldn't force it out. So, plus I don't think that their first inclination is to murder, even despite how they've been treated by Lionel.
Yeah, because I expected a little bit of a fight. I expected something once they emerged. Like, I thought, when they emerged, I was like, well, Lionel's gonna be, like, afraid.
They just emerged from the Shadowlands. They had just encountered this being in there that really kind of scared them. They could have almost died. And And I don't know if they have the power right now to fight back.
Yeah.
They're just, especially like you can run out of order power as well. Like in that battle with the nymphs after the pitball game, Darius uses all of his order gifts and until he basically had to revert back into his phase form. So emerging may have used all their order gifts at a time.
I don't know, Lily, did you expect a little bit more from the scene as far as fight goes?
I didn't expect a fight, but I expected more in general from this whole scene. I just felt like it was a little underwhelming in terms of what Lionel wanted, first of all. And second of all, I really thought or hoped that Orion and Darius would try a little harder to resist. And I understand they were in a weird place with Xavier, but I don't know. I just felt like they gave in really fast and it all happened really fast. There wasn't much back and forth. They all just kind of were like, oh no, this is happening to us. And then it happened. Yeah, I just felt like there was a lot of build up for what this was going to be. And what occurred from it didn't feel like as big of a consequence as I thought it was going to be. But I'm sure that we're going to get more of that in the next book.
Yeah, I feel like the attention to detail and pacing, I feel like there's more of that in the sexy scenes than there are in with the reckoning and tests, the trials.
Yeah.
And then this final scene, I feel like those are kind of rushed and just kind of thrown together, and the sexy scenes are like well paced and, you know.
The pitfall scenes are thought out.
I was about to say, the last
Jesus.
part of the last book with the fights, I liked that. I thought that was pretty good. But
Yeah,
I agree with you as a general rule. Yeah.
So at the end of this, Lionel tells everybody that the ritual worked. They all have shadow power, including Lance and Darius. So that way Lance and Darius can't go to the FIB and be like, my dad has shadows, because they do it now as well, and they'll all go to jail for it, no matter what. Or I don't know if it's jail or death, but they've all broken the law just by having the shadows. And Lionel's like, you can take the girls back to school. They've at least saved us the trouble of covering up their deaths. And then he dark coerces them into forgetting what happened.
Which I thought it didn't work. Did it work?
It did. It did. But
You started to make me second guess.
Yeah, he thinks he coerced them into it.
Yeah.
Does Darius think that they're coerced?
Yes, because there is no known resistance to dark coercion.
But they are very special. And so it works.
How stupid is fucking Lionel? Like, why would you not assume that the creatures that you've just used to pull in this magic wouldn't have some sort of defense? Like, the fact that he doesn't even check, or I don't know. He just seems awfully lazy with this evil business.
He doesn't know that they're phoenixes.
He didn't
I feel
see
like
it?
he's got lazy pants on.
Did
He doesn't know that they're phoenixes? So he didn't, yeah.
There hasn't been a
question.
phoenix in 1,000 years.
But
So he sees it, but he doesn't understand it?
Okay, so it's going to be explained in the very first chapter of the next book, but he thinks they're fire harpies. Their mother was a harpy, and when they emerged, only their wings came out, not their full transformation. And it was only for a moment, and they were in the air, like far in the air. So he saw them from afar, so he thinks that they're fire harpies. And not much is known about the phoenixes, because since nobody's seen them in forever, they're kind of considered a bit myth. Like, nobody even knows if they really truly existed.
so they didn't fully transform. So how do they know they're phoenixes?
They just know.
Yeah, it's like eventually you just know that you're gay, or you don't need anybody to tell you that you're gay, or tell you that you're a woman, or tell you that you're a man. You just know it. That's what happens here, is that once they emerge, they're like, oh, we're phoenixes. We know it. But they don't know what they're capable of.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think they say it in here, like the knowledge just settles in them.
Yeah.
That they're phoenixes. But they're the only ones that know it for a fact at this point.
Then that at least makes sense why Lionel isn't terrified.
Yeah.
But again, because if he would have known it, he would have killed them right away.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I expected him to have some sort of reaction, which to me, that would have been great in this book for them to have come through with that.
But now they have to keep their order a secret so that Lionel doesn't find out.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah, it is.
Well, I guess we'll discuss in the next book the outcomes of that last scene.
So, any thoughts on what the fallout's going to be for the next book?
I think Tori's gonna be a stubborn idiot about Darius. I think,
What gives you that idea?
maybe Brittany. Also, at the end of the book, she goes right back to being really frustrated with him, and
It's almost like she blames
that
him.
frustrates me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't, blatantly you could tell, he didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, and in this situation, granted he didn't act as much as I wanted him to, he was clearly taken off guard, just like she was, and I wish she would take that into consideration. But anyway, I'm sure we'll get more Lance and Darcy, which I'm very excited for, but I don't know where that's gonna go.
I feel like with Darius, he was like, I don't care if I push them to act the way they did to get revenge. I'm still going to get my revenge on them. This is Tori doing the same thing.
Yeah, and then as far as outcomes from the shadow work, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a good thing, but I do think they're going to mess around with some stuff that they shouldn't be messing around with.
Lionel now has the power of the shadows, meaning technically he is now more powerful than the other counselors.
And that's not good.
That's not good.
So does he start showing his true colors yet? Showing that power. But I guess he can't, because he'll be, but I guess, can he be put in jail if they can't physically overpower him?
Well, I mean, anybody can be overpowered if you bring an army. So,
Yeah, but he could bring an army of nymphs.
But yeah,
can he?
Yes, he can. He is the nymph king.
the Nymph King.
That doesn't sound right.
So the next book is called The Shadow Princess.
Oh, is she their queen?
That was beautiful, Christy. Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen with that.
She will unite them, and they will live happily ever after.
Will they? Will they?
I wonder if in the next book they're gonna claim their right to the throne, but in doing so, it reveals that now they have this power, and they kind of have to deal with that fallout.
Reveals that they have.
Shadows.
The Shadow Pound? Okay.
You mean Darius and Orion?
The girls don't
The
have
twins. Yeah, they do. Because I think that was the other reason why Lionel liked that, is because they would also be bound.
All right, no. Lionel thinks that the shadows went through them. They were just the vessels to channel the shadows to us, and they even saved us the trouble of having to cover up their deaths. Take them back to the academy, we don't need them anymore, and then he tries to erase their memory of the whole event. So he does not know that they have the shadows.
Right, but what I'm saying is they know that they have the shadow power, and at some point it's going to come out, but I think they're going to claim that power for themselves.
I'll keep my thoughts to myself. I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay, keep your secrets. Keep your secrets, Mr. Frodo. So what are your thoughts, Christy?
I think I'm kind of on the same wavelength. I feel like the immediate response, especially for Tori, is probably, and Darcy too, but especially Tori, is going to be bad. Maybe taking more risk, that attitude kind of...
Well, they just got this whole new power.
Curiosity.
They have to learn how to control it.
Yeah.
Because if they do reveal it to anybody, they could go to jail or, get executed.
But I think too, with the heirs fucking with them, like they might use it to get back at them, and maybe in the process.
I will say this. The shadows, they call it the fifth element, but it's not like the other element. It comes with some downsides as well.
Evil has a cost.
Evil has a cost.
I guess that wraps up Book 3 of the Zodiac Academy series, The Reckoning. We hope that you've enjoyed the show this week. Next episode, we'll be discussing Book 4, Shadow Princess, chapters 1 through 16. New episodes drop every week at midnight.
Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow us on social media. That like and follow are super important for us to be able to continue to bring you new episodes each week. So please, please, please do so. Thank you for listening to the Midnight Readers podcast. We'll see you next week.
Happy reading, listeners. Don't stay up too late.